downstairs, just an air pocket. Thank you.
I'm getting married in 2 days.
It'll be fine.
All right, folks. Please fasten your seatbelts.
Holy shit!
Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of the GTAS podcast being recorded on Saturday, June 23rd, 2018.
You're very excited.
I'm trying to be as excited as possible. I'm pretty tired today, but I'm your host Bob Rusin, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, the always dexterous Adam Miller.
Hello.
So Adam, you got our whole week pretty much off. You almost like a week and a half because we recorded our E3
last Tuesday.
Yeah, which I made the E3 podcast an audio only version. So I just was like, no fucking way can I edit.
It wasn't like 2.5 hours long.
It was about 2.5 hours long. It's actually a really good show. I went through the whole entire thing and listened to it myself.
Yeah.
It's a really informative show. So anybody who gets a chance and they miss that, and if they're not a game person, well then unfortunately
there's not much in it for you.
You're kind of, yeah, exactly. You're kind of shit out of luck on that one. But if you are and you're interested in the E3 thing and you want to get caught up, because I feel like we hit every beat.
We covered everything except for Devolver Digital because you didn't watch Devolver.
That was about it. And you kind of went over it a little bit. But besides that, I was just like, no, it's just a little too daunting of a task.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of spare time, at least during the week. So if you want to enjoy that, Adam and I did a 2.5 hour special edition of the GTAS podcast where
basically as soon as E3 ended.
We did it on the day E3 was over, and it was online the next day.
Yeah.
So it's not that dated. There's still a lot of games that people might not be aware of that are coming out that we speak about.
I think the only thing that might have happened since then is like some of the information on some of those games have expanded, but I don't think that we got anything wrong.
No, there was a couple things that I was like, man, did I maybe fuck that up? Because I had been writing notes for 4 days straight, and writing little information about, and I was sitting there, I'm like, oh fuck, was I right on that game? And I went and did some research. I'm like, yes, we had it. I think we had it almost all on point.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you had a chance to even watch that, because you usually watch the show through the YouTube.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance,
I usually double check on YouTube, whereas Bobby usually double checks the audio.
Yeah, I check the audio because that's just
he drives for work, so that's easy.
I have literally 2.5 hours to spare. To go through the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole audio.
But besides that, what's been new with you, Adam? I honestly, it's been weird because I haven't seen you in about a week and a half.
Yeah. So I imported. I don't remember what the title it is, but it's a game that's in the.
What a great start off!
Yeah. Woo. So we've talked about Disaster Report before and Raw Danger, and like there's really kind of like shitty PS2 games that are like really interesting.
But
concepts.
You're a big fan of those games.
I love them.
I've never really experimented with them, so I can't really have a voice in this race or a horse in this race. But you enjoy it.
Yeah. So I imported. There's like I don't know if it's the third or the fourth game in the series. I think it might be the fourth, but it's like a sort of open world survival game, where you have to survive like giant monster attacks like Godzilla and Ultraman and shit are attacking and destroying the city.
Is it actually Godzilla and stuff, or is it
no, it's licensed.
Oh, it's licensed.
Licensed shit. I think one of the monsters and the robot from Evangelion are in there. I think Ultraman and Jet Jaguar are in there. I think
which are pretty much the same character.
Yeah, they're basically the same fucking thing. Godzilla, I think Gamera's in there, but there's like different monsters and
That's
shit.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, so it's very text heavy though, so I'm having trouble with it.
Oh.
Because it's not translated. But it is a lot of fucking fun. I think in the first 5 minutes of the game, I went into a convenience store, bought fried chicken, went across the street into a police station, stole a female's police officer uniform as a male character, put it on. So I'm now running down the street in high heels and a skirt and a little police officer's like
little hat and vest.
And and then fucking Ultraman comes down, is like shooting missiles out of his fucking hand. You know, he does that like this thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Stuff was coming out of it. And then he shot a building and like broke through a wall, and like these members of the Yakuza are counting money. And then they start trying to beat the shit out of me while I'm in this female police officer's uniform. And I like rolled through a fire and it destroyed my shirt. So I'm just wearing the undershirt now.
And through all this, you have no idea what the fuck is going on.
I can't read what anybody's saying. So I'm just guessing. So I'm start running away from them. And then a fucking another explosion happens. And like a public transportation bus just falls on top of me and I died.
Jeez.
So, yeah, it was like probably like 15 minutes of gameplay, but it's like wacky and crazy.
And you don't know what it's called? Like there's no translation at all in English?
It's like the City of Shadows or something like that, but it starts with a K. It's like Kyoso Tesse or some shit like that. I don't fucking know.
But it's wow. What did that cost to import something like that?
$60.
Wow. Jeez.
$60.
That's so crazy.
And then I got Prey because there's like 3 or 4 different like massive content updates coming to Prey. So I ordered that, and I got that for super cheap, and it showed up at my house, and it was the European version.
What?
So, yeah, I don't know. I bought it from Amazon, too. Like, official Amazon, not from some dude on Amazon. And they sent me the European version, and I called them up, and I'm like, yeah, I can't use any of the downloadable content that's coming out for this game. Won't be compatible with this, because DLC is region locked, even though the games aren't.
Yeah.
So, they're going to give me my money back, and I stopped at our buddy Brian's at the Game Master Realm in Hopewell Shopping Center, and I picked up a copy of Prey there. So I'm going to send the one that I bought online back.
Oh,
get my money back for it.
He's looking for a new location, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Is it just his building just too much worse for wear?
So when I went there today, you remember the building that wasn't, or the facility that wasn't being used right next door to him? It used to be the Rite Aid.
Now it's someone rent that?
I think they're trying to lease that property, so he's going to lose all that storage that they were letting him use. So I think he's looking for a new location so that he has room to store that stuff, all that stuff that he had, and also still operate his store.
He should just sell it. He has so much stuff in there, like that he's never gonna look. It's like he's like hoarding it. He has
like arcade machines and
he should just sell them.
He doesn't have enough storefront property to display all that shit. That's why.
I know. He should just one day just ask if he can do like a block party sellout thing,
like quarantine off some of the parking lot
and just sell off all of it, or see what he can at least sell off, because it's not being used. And I remember I offered to buy something from Brian in there, and he's like, "No, I want that." I'm like, "Well, then."
It was the wasn't it like a Star Trek?
Yeah, it was a version of the Enterprise that I really wanted. I thought it would look nice with my other Enterprise, and
he wanted to keep it.
He wanted to keep it. I'm like, "What the fuck? You don't like Star Trek? What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I want it." I'm like, "Dude, it's broken. I'm literally offering to fix it."
He said you're a bastard because you sold your Hobbit record at the exchange.
Yeah, he's so pissed off about that. I'm like, "Dude, I didn't know you like The Hobbit."
I'm like, I didn't even know that Bobby had that, so I couldn't have like talked him into giving it to you or anything.
Yeah, if I knew he wanted it, I would have just given it to him.
Yeah.
I had no idea he was interested in the Hobbit soundtrack, the original soundtrack on record. Like the original animated version.
Yeah, and it has like a storybook with it and shit.
Yeah, and I mean...
He's like, yeah, Bobby sold this to the exchange. I'm like, I didn't even fucking know you had something like that.
Well, the other thing is Brian, I always tell him, he's like, "Oh, why'd you sell this to the exchange?" I'm like, "Well, dude, you're not open on Saturday and on Sunday and Monday, and sometimes I just need cash, and Brian's the best person around 100% to get store credit from. But unfortunately, when I need cash, I'm not going to Brian to be like, hey, so how much cash can you give me for the Hobbit record? I just wouldn't expect him to want something like that.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I couldn't do much about that. But besides that, absolutely almost like nothing has been going on with me. I've been binge playing through Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah.
Going through that, and I think I'm halfway through chapter 4 out of 6 chapters.
Well, we did invent that new sport in GTA, remember? Since the last time we had a show.
We did do that. I did that for we did that for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
We took quads onto the horse racing track in GTA, popped the tires, and then we're driving them around the horse racing track.
Shooting each other, even though we can't kill each other.
Yeah.
Like, we're not able to, but...
Because we're on the same crew,
But for some reason, it was a lot more fun than I thought.
It was fucking stupid, because it was like driving around on ice.
Yeah, you had to... We couldn't...
It was like GTA 4... but with pop tires. That's what it was like driving around on grass with pop tires.
Yeah, because GTA 4's driving is
like butter.
Yeah, the streets made of butter in GTA 4. Although I do like GTA 4, but man, when it rains in that game, it is just...
Well, fucking shut the game off.
Yeah, you might as well. So, Adam, we got a few topics we can talk about today. We got 4 of them all together. So let's go into our first one, which is that GameStop is apparently looking for a buyout. I think, Adam, you mentioned before we started the show.
Pretty sure we called this a couple weeks ago.
Right, when like Toys R Us was going out.
Yeah, when we were talking about how these companies are operating on old business models and they're not really evolving.
Mm-hmm. So have you heard anything else besides... Because you came up to me and you were like, guess what?
Well,
GameStop's going out of business. I'm like, maybe. Kind of. Most likely.
Well, if you remember, there's been a lot of recent changeover in the corporate leadership.
Yeah, their head guy quit after 3 months of working there.
Yeah. So...
noted it for family issues or something like that.
So he said.
I
think
it's probably the family issues. I need to get the fuck out of here before my family gets fucked over.
Yeah, before I lose my job and have no severance package.
So, go ahead. What were you going to be saying?
I was going to say that I don't know how many shows ago it was, but we had talked about when we first talked about Toys R Us, how we talked about locations like GameStop, having difficulties. And then a few weeks after that, we had the whole story about the guy quitting after only being in charge for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And now this. And it's like, we kind of saw this one coming.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of were... I don't think anybody was really shocked at this. But I also did see people online on Twitter and Facebook going like, yeah, GameStop... Like, they're excited it's going out of business. And here's the thing is, I don't know if that's the right thing to say, because the only people who are going to be benefiting off of this thing going out of business is the higher-ups who are the reason for it failing. And the only people who are going to suffer are going to be the people that work there.
It's going to be exactly like Toys R Us, where all those fucking corporate shitbags are going to get like $20 million severance packages, and all the employees at GameStop are going to have no job.
Mm-hmm. And apparently, I remember that GameStop's stock was around, I believe, like $27. I think this was back in like 2011.
Yeah.
And now it's down to like less than $11, at least according to this since recording this podcast on June 23rd.
Yeah.
And they got a big letter pretty much saying like, yo... You guys are not making our shareholders happy. Like, we are losing money, and you guys are not doing anything. And, yeah, that's pretty much what GameStop's method has just been. They've been like, let's have the same exact business model since 2009, and we'll just roll with it.
Even before that.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
I started working for GameStop in, I think, 2006 or 7.
I'll say that GameStop always felt the same... once EB Games kind of went out. I'd say that
once that merger happened?
Once that merger happened is whenever you just saw the non-competition and just steady, like, non-growth of that company and just becoming shadier and shadier with a lot of its practices. And,
well, it had, like you said, it had no competition to keep it in check.
Yeah, no competition, and just kind of thought, well, we're the GameStop.
We are the game store.
Yeah.
We will do what we want, and you will deal with it.
Mm-hmm. And I just remember, like, people just dealing with GameStop and just being like, I'm done with it. And just the practices and the pre-orders, and then hearing that they're not letting you know about new games in stock because they want you to buy the used game only, or because that was
some locations that were like basically just lying to the customers,
saying
straight up,
like, hey,
because they make more money on used.
They make almost, I think the percentage is like they make
8% profit on new, and I think it's somewhere around like 35% profit on used or something like that.
I think it's higher. I mean, they buy the games for, if they buy a brand new game,
$9.
They buy it for like $9 or 15 in credit, and then they sell it for 55. And if they sell it for 55, I mean, I don't know what that margin is. I'm not a math guy, but that's a big up. I mean, that's a huge.
Yeah.
It's a huge
it's
margin.
Doubling or tripling the money that they paid for it.
Yeah, most doubt. And it's just that it started to piss a lot of people off, and I just know people who just strictly go to Amazon with their pre-orders, and you getting like, what's it, like 20% off?
If you have Prime, some pre-orders you can get shit for like $47.99.
Yeah, well, there's
and
other.
I don't know if it's different depending on how long you've been a member, or I don't know how that shit works. You can get it too, right?
Yeah,
47. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a 20% discount.
Yeah, for me, Capcom games never have a discount though.
Well, that just could be something working with Amazon.
I think it's Amazon has a deal with certain publishers to sell the games at a discount.
Yeah, but either way, like, not like my point is that. That's an incentive to buy at Amazon or to pre-order with Amazon. You're also not having to put any money down originally. You still have to put money down at GameStop. And I understand putting the money down because you want the person to come into the store. But they never offered like, hey, come in, pre-order for free, and it will ship to your house day one or something like that. They never
charge your card and it'll be at your door day one.
Yeah, they never. If you pay for it in full right now, it'll be at day one.
That's shit that Amazon has.
Yeah,
Amazon a lot of times will have day one shipping. Like,
you'll get it the day, and it's just.
I've gotten shit a day early before from Amazon.
I mean, it's just not surprising that like GameStop, even when they were consistently losing money. Then they were doing this thing that like, oh, we're all about family and our employees, so we're gonna give you the Black Friday off. You know, we're not gonna be opening on Black Friday or on Thanksgiving Day.
In the middle of the night, yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna be open on Thanksgiving Day. Well, then the next year they said, well, fuck that shit, because we lost a lot of money, and they were like down a massive percent from what they were doing last year.
For me, I don't think that's why they lost the money. Because if you look at the sales numbers for the rest of all the locations on that Black Friday,
they weren't amazing either because people are realizing the deals are online.
And yeah, exactly. You'll get the same deals online. You don't have to risk getting in a car accident with assholes driving around.
Which its percentage is much higher. I know people who have only been hit on Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not a good idea or time to go out.
And you got to deal with. Some people get fucking aggressive. Nobody's ever gotten aggressive with me, but
I've never experienced anyone.
I've heard stories of people fighting over shit. Obviously, we know that there's been shootings over people.
You see people arguing. You know, every single time it's a Black Friday, every time the news is going to be playing, look at these chaotic people jumping into Walmart at exactly, what do they do open at, like 2 o'clock?
Yeah, whatever. PM. Yeah, whenever they open.
Black Friday anymore.
People will just trample each other over shit that nobody really needs. Like, it's nice to have this stuff, and it's nice to get it at a good deal.
Gotta get that 50-inch 4K TV!
Yeah, like, it's not really that important, bro.
Yeah, it's really not.
So I don't know. I think people just, they're not that enamored with the deals. Most of the people...
I don't think people want to go to stores anymore.
People don't want to deal with the shit, yeah.
Because you go to the store, there are certain stores you go to that you look around. Yeah. And you see what's there. Kind of like an exchange.
Yeah.
I go to an exchange once a week, and if you're in Pittsburgh, you know what I'm talking about, but it's just like a used store. It's kind of like, it's like going to like a Goodwill. Yeah. You don't know what you're really going to see. You have an idea of what you might want, but you might see something cool that you might like, oh, I want that. I didn't think I wanted that. GameStop, it just really...
You don't have that experience.
I don't think so.
I've never... I shouldn't say never, but I haven't since GameStop's... Like, you remember when they started throwing away PS2 boxes?
Yeah.
That's the last time that I remember going in because really since then we haven't had like an explosion of budget, like weird off-the-wall budget titles since the PS2. But I remember going in and you'd find stuff for the PS2 and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And you pick it up and you're like, oh, this looks kind of interesting and it's only $8. I'll pick it up. And you take it home and like you fucking end up with shit like Stretch Panic or Raw Danger or...
Yo, don't fuck with Stretch Panic. Do not fuck.
Or Spy Fiction. Have you ever played Spy Fiction?
I've never played Spy Fiction.
Holy shit. Spy Fiction is like a budget title knockoff of MGS2 and it's so fucking good.
Hey, if we ever do a Twitch thing, we can play Spy Fiction. We'll be our first game. Do you remember... I actually remember doing it on this show. Do you remember the last time that I was in a GameStop? I made a specific point to talk about it at one point. Do you remember I was trying to buy a 2DS? Do you remember that?
Well, didn't they tell you they didn't have one?
Yeah, pretty much the long story. This is the last time I was in a GameStop. I went in there. I went on their website and I looked for a Pokeball Pokemon 3D or 2DS XL. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, it just looks like a Pokeball. I go. It says they have 2 in stock. I go there and I'm like, excuse me. I went on your website and it says you guys have 2 versions of the Pokeball 2DS XL. I'd like to buy one, please. And I was actually like, I'm very polite when I go into stores. I actually was like, hey guys, I was actually on your store. I actually want to get one of those. Is there one you could grab me that?
Yeah.
They're like, sure, let me look for it. Because the store is more than half. I'm going to actually say the games were reserved to a corner of the store, and more than half, I'm not exaggerating, the first half of the store literally it's all toys.
It's like toys and
clothes
t-shirts
and t-shirts and cups and mugs and board games. And then it even extended past the counter where I'm seeing like Mega Man helmets, special like editions of games that don't even have the goddamn game in it, but like statues, big $180 figures, stuff like that. And they looked for 20 minutes and could not find 2 versions. They had said they had 2. Yeah. And they were like, oh, where did you find that on? I'm like, I looked it on your website. It says you guys have one. Is this not your store? They were like, oh, yeah, that is our store. And so they tried looking up on their pad. They type in Pokemon or Pokeball or whatever the hell they typed in, 2DS, and they were searching through their inventory, and there's just so much Pokemon shit that they couldn't find it. And so I was like, well, this sucks. Well, they have it over at Best Buy. And so I drove over to Best Buy, and I was like, hey, guys, I'm looking for this. Where is it? Oh, it's behind this glass case. Let me get that for you.
Done.
And they lost. I mean, that's just a small little example for me. But
they lost that sale.
They lost.
They don't make that much money on a console sale, but they lost it.
But I'm just saying, like, that could have been a game with it. Mm-hmm. They maybe that I wasn't planning on buying a game, but with that logic of selling a console, you think, oh, I sell the console, maybe I can get a game or 2 sale out of it. Yeah. At least that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want anything else with this console? Do you want something to play with it? Yeah.
And so it just was and that's no fault to the employees that were working there. They were fine, but it's just like you have this chaotic mess of a store. They're literally, most GameStops are, we're recording this. We record this show in a spare bedroom. And
most GameStops are about 2 of these.
2, yeah, I was literally about to say, are about the size of 2 of these bedrooms. And they have so much shit in them, it's insane.
Yeah.
And they can't find a console. That just blows my mind. And so that's just, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, man, there's no way that these stores can be making money right now. Like, there's no way. Like, there's just so much crap that they're spending money on that they're not selling. They're never going to sell that Joker Final Fantasy Square Enix action figure that's $150.
Well, yeah, the Play Arts action figure, yeah.
Like, it's just, what?
No,
who is that appealing to?
Exactly, and that kind of shit, normally, that's why it's sold from online specialty websites.
Yeah?
Shit like Sideshow Collectibles or Square
that
Enix
are like
has its
almost
own
made
store.
to order.
Yeah, they're exactly.
No one comes in there like, oh, they'll be like, oh, that's cool looking. Whoa, that's $150. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I can buy 2 full brand new games with that money for an action figure that
and a used game or a new controller
for a figure that's just gonna stand there like half of these things.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's unfortunate to the employees, but I couldn't imagine anybody buying out. I mean, maybe someone would buy out GameStop, but they're probably just gonna gut it. Like, I just can't imagine. Like, digital sales are just crushing right now, and it's just.
Which, I mean, that's a whole other issue. That doesn't make sense to me either. But
What, that people are buying digital?
Yeah.
I don't know.
To me, digital distribution outside of the PC platform doesn't make any fucking sense because
You're just talking about the size of the games?
Yeah, the size of the games is just ridiculous.
Maybe it's just because of us, and we just look at how many games we buy a year compared to the average consumer.
Yeah, true.
Because
it's definitely more than
my good friend Brian Wallette, if he's listening, hey, what's up? But the other thing is
different Brian than Game Master Brian.
Yes, different than Game Master Brian. But my good friend Brian, hardly ever. I'd say he buys in. How many games do you say you'd buy in 2 months? If you'd assume, how many did you buy in the last 2 months?
I'd say I at least buy one every 2 months.
Okay, but
minimum.
But I'm just saying, in this last 2 months, how many have you bought? You think?
I imported that one game. I bought Prey.
Any digitals that you actually paid for?
Yeah, I got Lego Worlds and Lego City Undercover. Okay.
So we'll just go on that. You're at least 4 games in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think Brian. I'm not gonna say that. Did I already say his last name?
Yeah, you're too late. You fucked up.
Well, Brian Willett, he does not buy a game. Probably he'll buy a game maybe once every 6 months. Okay, yeah. And most of those he borrows off of me. He'll buy a sports game, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I could imagine him saying, "Yeah, I'll just buy it digitally, get it the day of, and I'll turn it on as soon as it's available." Because I just think that most people, I think for a console, you got to realize, I think most people for a console have like 5 games. I think that's not that far off.
That's insane, because I can't even justify buying a console for just 5 games.
No, I know. But you got to realize is that, like, I think that people get their, like, when they buy, Fortnite, which is free, or they buy their Call of Duty. Like, for example, my roommate, Gary, he has an Xbox One. Do you know how many games he has for that thing? He has 1. He has 1 game.
Yeah.
Call of Duty WW2. That's it. He doesn't play any other games. He played Fortnite for a little bit, but that's it. And he bought the physical version. The game might have actually come with the damn system.
Yeah.
And he has 1 game. He just doesn't play that much. He's not a big gamer.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even fucking bother. Like, I still don't have a Nintendo Switch because it doesn't have like 7 games that I would just really want to play.
I know. I just think that we're in the minority on that. And so I think that's why digital sales are actually working. Because when there's nutcases like us, we buy a lot of games.
Yeah.
We do. We buy games thinking we'll play this in the future. Most people, the average person, doesn't do that. I think the average person says, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to play it for a month. Brian had my Wii U and played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for probably like 3 months. And that's all he played besides maybe occasionally a sports game. But I think while we play games to kind of get through them and get to the next one, I think the average person really goes into that. Like, that's my game. I'm not going to spend another $60 on a game unless I really have to have it.
Yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents on it. That's why I think the digital games are actually working, because I think we hang out with people who buy games to play them and get to the next one, because we want to get as much of that content fill as we possibly want. That's just me.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I argue against shit like escapism, that's totally why I play games.
Yeah.
And that's why I play...
I don't think there's anything wrong with escapism.
No, I know, but it can be a problem for some people. But I guess...
Sure, could any
any form of escapism. I mean, people who drink too much, people who use drugs too much. But I guess for me, I play games specifically that have a defined character and that have a defined narrative. It doesn't necessarily have to be linear, but that's what I like. I don't like games like Skyrim, or I don't like games like Fallout where you create this generic character and then you have to fill that character with yourself. I'm myself all day, every day. I want to be something else. I want to experience something else. So I think
that's part you, but that doesn't explain why like digital sales or
I'm saying that like that's why I play so many different games.
Oh, I mean, I want.
And I think maybe a lot of people don't have that, and that's why people will just buy a Skyrim or just buy a Call of Duty or just buy a, Madden or something. And that's their game. And that's all they do.
I think okay. I was wondering, like, I'm like, where
am I going with this?
Going with this? I get that now. I understand that. See, like you do that. Me, I like just playing. It's like a movie,
Yeah.
One day I want to play this, or one day I want to watch this.
But again, in a movie, I wouldn't go see a movie that was about me. Yeah, I do it all day, every day. I'm not interested in viewing my life on a screen.
No, I get that. I'm more saying that I want to do. It's my form of escapism. Like sometimes I want to see an action movie. Sometimes I'd rather see a horror movie. Sometimes like just how you're feeling, but it's kind of like. With us with games is like the average person with a movie. I will go and see about 3 movies a month.
Yeah.
I'd say the average person doesn't see a movie, maybe sees a movie once every 3 or 4 months.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
I see a movie maybe once every 2 months.
And that's why I think, physical media is dying because there are other forms of, hey, I can just watch this digitally. Oh, this will be out on DVD or on digital in 3 months.
Yeah.
So why go to the theater, or why would I buy this game when I can actually get it a week early digitally?
I guess for me, digital will become viable when hardware stops shipping with tiny 1 terabyte
or like
drives.
a 500 gigabyte.
Yeah, like the original PS4 was 500
But to be fair though, I still have a 500 gigabyte PS4, and I just made it work because I just uninstall the games when I'm done with them. I don't keep them stored. Yeah. But I understand that that's a little bit more difficult when you have a digital, unless I'm sure you can just go back in the library and re-download it.
Yeah, you can re-download it.
Yeah.
But another problem with digital is having the access to them shut off. So let's say you did uninstall that game.
Yes, I understand.
And you go back and you're like, oh shit, I can't reinstall PT. Oh shit,
I
can't
reinstall. Shit, I'm never able to play Scott Pilgrim versus the World again.
Yeah, because I uninstalled it from my PS3.
Yeah.
Which luckily I still have that installed.
Do you?
Yeah.
If you ever sell your PS3, let me know because I want that.
Just come over and play it.
I know, I want to play it, but fuck. I had the game and I erased it. Same thing with
Tegan still has it too.
Does he?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. God damn it. I really love that game. But yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand the downside.
I lost access to this game that was really good. I'll never be able to play it again because it just doesn't exist anymore. Mm-hmm.
That's the downside of it.
That's the thing, like, even though Two Human's not a great game, Two Human, nobody will ever be able to get that digitally. So if anybody wants to play Two Human, it's got to be a physical copy.
Weird thing that you came up with Two Human.
Yeah, I know, but they were court ordered to destroy every possible copy that they had in existence. So the only time you're ever going to find Two Human is if somebody held on to their physical copy.
Yeah, that is true. It is only a $4 game. It's like, not expensive, so
it's
don't worry about it.
It's not very good either, but what I'm saying is like...
I get it. I get what you're saying, though.
That's a piece of history that's gone now for most people.
That's why I said when I was working at like these used stores, I said, like, man, how many copies of Madden 09 do we have right now? Wouldn't it be just great if we did like a Fahrenheit 451, and just burned all the copies we could get of Madden 09 and just make every store burn Madden 09 and just burn them and then see how high the price raises.
Madden 09. Madden 09, $1,400 on eBay.
Yeah, because there was a massive game burning of Madden 09. Mm-hmm. I always thought that would be a really funny ass thing to do.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, going back to it, GameStop just, I think with the digital age, it's hurting them massively, and they're just not. They're not adjusting with the times, and unfortunately, they're going to suffer for it. But they're not going to suffer for it. The employees are. So honestly, I feel bad for the employees, but at the same time, this was writing on the wall from years. Yeah. Years and years of it. So
I could have told you that this would eventually happen when I worked there almost a decade ago.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, so we're going to be going on to our next topic, which is, Adam, have you been hearing these stories going around that Star Wars, Lucasfilm is putting all of their standalone Star Wars stories on hold? Have you seen any of these reports?
I think I saw like a headline, but I didn't end up reading the article.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's completely false, actually.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm has actually come out and said...
we never said that?
We never said that.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I think one article said that they're licking their wounds after the failure, which I think we can say, failure of Star Wars, a Star Wars story. Still stupid-ass title.
Yeah, dumbass title.
But they said that we are not canceling our standalone Star Wars stories. And that was just, I remembered that. I saw it, and then I was like, that doesn't really sound like something they would do. But let me check it out. And it's just nonstop, everything. Posting it like it's truth. Like, putting them on hold, cancels all Solo films, cancels all these films. And then Lucasfilm came out like 3 days ago and was like, that's not true.
That never happened,
Yeah, we never said that we were doing that, and whoever ran that story should really check their facts. And I wanted to see what your take... You didn't see Solo, but I was wondering what your take on these Star Wars films, Solo one, should be. Do you think that they should continue, just keep on trucking even after the mistake that was Solo, or do you think that they should put those on hold and focus more on the main episodic films?
I mean, for me, I think that they should just... I'm not saying that they should do nothing to change what they're doing, but I don't think that they should not make these films. Just because there wasn't really an audience for a film that nobody really asked for anyways, doesn't mean that they should stop making other films that people might actually be interested in.
True, but I think a big issue is that while I mean, I'm just going to speak for both of us, I think both of us enjoy The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but
I think a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I know.
And I think a lot of people are really hurt by how much they dislike that film, that I do believe that Solo may have suffered slightly because of it. I think there's a few reasons why it suffered.
I think that's probably one. The fact that nobody fucking asked for it. Another reason why.
I think the fact that it went Avengers, then it went Deadpool, then it went Solo. Yeah. I think people might have just been, remember like the statement I literally just made, that I believe that the average
most people
person
don't go see 2 films in 2 months.
Or 3 films in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Or, 3 films in a month. Yeah. Exactly. You were right on that. But yeah, I think that people might have just been spent. Going to the movies isn't cheap. It's not.
It's not.
We're actually going to get into that in our last topic. But going into that, like, I'm just going to say, for 2 people to go to a movie is about $20. That's just minimum. That's just your tickets. That's not including if you want to get concessions. If you want to get
because in the summertime, I mean, unless you got a big old booty hole, good luck getting shit in there.
Yeah, or you got a purse.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's tricky. So you're asking, and that's not only, you got to think that that's only 2 people.
Yeah.
You know, like a family. Let's say I know a guy who has 3 kids. And guess what? His kids are all boys. And he's not taking them to Deadpool, but in Infinity War, definitely. And, that's what is that? $40? $40 to go to the movies.
Is he taking his wife?
No, he didn't take his wife.
Okay. But if he did, that would be $50 then.
Yeah.
Plus, there's tax on it, so I think it comes like $10.50 a ticket now.
Yeah, you're looking, just to tickets, you're probably looking around $55 to $60. I'll just throw it in there. If the average ticket around here is about $9.95, I would just throw that out there. That's
is it insane that I can remember going to see a movie for like $4?
Yeah, I remember when they were like $5 Tuesdays. I was like, man, I used to remember when it was all day, every day, all day, every day. It was $5. Yeah, I remember that. I think my old tickets. I have in my old my mom's place. I have all these old tickets going back to like, I don't know, 2003, I believe, because I think the first ticket I have on there is when I started collecting ticket stubs was War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah.
Which, whenever that came out, was my first one, and I remember
that's so fucking weird. Why would you choose that one to start with?
Well, I just was like, oh, cool, this is War of the Worlds. Also, I thought War of the Worlds I fucking loved War of the Worlds in theaters. I still like War of the Worlds, so fuck you. I really think that that's a good movie. It has some goofy parts to it, but for the most part, I was like, man, this is fucking epic. I can't wait to be like, look at this. So I believe it's War of the Worlds, but I also have all 5 tickets to my Revenge of the Sith. I remember telling you about that a while back.
Yeah, you saw it 5 times.
Yeah, I saw it 5 times in the theater. But there's also that. And what the hell was I even talking? I got sidetracked. What the hell Star Wars.
Oh, we were talking about how we remember how cheap it was.
Yeah, how cheap it was and why it was found. I think that. And I think... I
remember going to the Ambridge Family Theater and paying $275 to see a movie.
That's insane.
That's a single screen theater that doesn't exist anymore. But
yeah, I've been pretty much going to Bridgeville forever.
Yeah,
It used to be that and Showcase Cinema West, which is now a car place because the
that's Car Sense now. Mm-hmm.
Car Sense, yeah. Cinemark kind of wiped its ass.
Oh yeah, ruined that.
Showcase Cinemas though was I remember, I don't know how I got talked into it, but I went and saw a Harry Potter movie at midnight once. I think one of my coworkers just asked, like, hey, will you go with me? I know you like movies. I'm like, I've never seen any Harry Potters. I don't like Harry Potter. And they're like, well, I have no one to go with. I'll buy your ticket. And I was like, sure, why not? And I remember just being in there, and I've never been so uncomfortable. I had like a spring in the back of my back. It was so uncomfortable. So I was glad Showcase Cinema left, but I do like Bridgeville. But going back to it, not to get too far off track, which we did, but the Star Wars films, Solo failing miserably, like it's gonna lose money for sure. It's got double the budget because they pretty much had to reshoot that film. So I understand the logic of, people are gonna say that they're canceling these films. But, like, what they're hinting at possibly coming out are not ones I'm interested in besides the Kenobi film. They said they're going to possibly do an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, which I've already discussed to you is, like, why I think that would be a good idea.
I completely changed my mind on it.
But then the other one was a Boba Fett movie, which I honestly said, that sounds like a terrible idea. I don't know what your thought on a Boba Fett movie would be. They have, I think, James
like, that's a fan favorite character, but... I don't know.
Well, they said that they have James Mangold, the guy who did Logan, to either write it and direct it or something like that, which, super talented guy. That's great. I love that. The director.
Yeah.
I do. But my problem with Boba Fett, if I don't want a Boba Fett movie, and I think that's what these people are saying. They're like, we don't want these movies. We want side stories. We want stories like Rogue One. While you and I have our problems with Rogue One, we want stories
completely original.
We want stories like that.
Yeah, and yes, that's part of the reason why I didn't have much interest in Han Solo is because I don't need to know the origin story of a character that I kind of already know.
Yeah, and I didn't
It's
learn
like
anything
what
new.
they're doing is just explaining what you already know in greater detail.
Yeah, I didn't need. I enjoyed Solo, I actually did, but I was like, I didn't learn anything new. Like, yeah, sure, I learned how he got his last name. Stupid. Sure, now I know how him and Chewbacca hooked up. Okay. Now I know why he's a little jaded or why he acts like this. How he got the Falcon. Well, I knew how he got the Falcon. He won it from Lando in a game. Like, I knew that. Mm-hmm. And I think the one thing is I don't need to know much about Boba Fett. I don't need these young versions or these continuations of these characters. Unless they want to explore baby Boba Fett after he gets out of the Sarlacc pit. That's all I really would care. But once again, like, I don't need a whole fucking movie explaining that.
Yeah.
If they were going to do the expanded version of how Boba Fett, the expanded universe version of how he got out of the Sarlacc pit and the whole, like, thing he goes on with, like, Dengar and like, his run-ins with other bounty hunters, like, yeah, sure, that's kind of cool, but honestly, that could all be done in a goddamn comic book, and it just doesn't need to be done in a movie.
Yeah.
I don't want the mystery of Boba Fett to be ruined, but also at the same time, I'm not one of those guys with a boner for Boba Fett, because I don't get why Boba Fett is so fucking popular. Besides that he's cool looking, and he has a jetpack, he doesn't do much.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. I don't want a movie with him. But that's the thing is, I don't believe that they should discontinue the Star Wars story universe.
The side story stuff. There's so many places they could go, though. There's so many things that they could explore that are more interesting and more original and aren't really that well known to the average Star Wars film fan.
Yes, exactly. But they don't. They just keep saying, like,
we're going to tell you the story of something that you already know that's explained to you in a film but off screen.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, exactly. It's stupid. But I do think that maybe they should kind of not completely hit the brakes, but pump them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just... You got... This inability for Lucasfilm to just listen to fans. Now, I don't believe you should just out and out listen to fans.
Because that's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
idea.
I forget. One sports coach once said that coaches who listen to the fans are bound to sit with them. Like, you know, pretty much just saying, like, if you're going to listen to the fans, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And you're going to be joining them soon.
Yeah, because you're going to lose your fucking job.
Yeah. And
that's exactly right. Because if you've ever been on the fucking internet and you ever read fan fiction for any fandom, Harry Potter...
It's garbage.
Anything, it's all fucking trash. It's fucking garbage. And no fan should have control over any of these franchises.
But here's my thing. With Lucasfilm and Star Wars, there's a great quote in Mallrats. Yeah. Now, if you're watching the video feed right now, you'll get where I'm going with this. But it goes, here's the pulse. Mm-hmm. Okay? So we'll say the pulse is the fans.
Yeah.
Here's your pulse, or here's your fingers, which are the Lucasfilm jammed straight up your ass. And, like, that's kind of where they are. They just don't care, and they're so off the mark with what fans want. And I understand, do your own thing, but my God, at some point you gotta at least be semi close. You gotta be at least kind of on the pulse.
I think that's the mark of a good film studio to manipulate a franchise is to deliver something that the fans want that they don't know that they wanted.
Yeah, that's what they should do.
If you want to surprise them, then fucking actually surprise them. Don't give them exactly what they want, because
this Boba Fett movie, and even though I think that the potential for the Kenobi movie could be good, they could do a completely different thing with this. Mm-hmm. If they announced that James Mangold was going to be on Kenobi, I'd be like fucking losing my mind how good that would be, because I pretty much want Kenobi to be like Logan, and the guy who directed Logan is now somehow attached to Boba Fett. but it's the disregard for just kind of listening. It's a big fan group. It's a huge fan group.
And not all of it are nice people.
No, and a very small percentage. I've never met an asshole Star Wars fan.
Neither have I, but they're there. They exist.
I think it's a very small percentage. I almost
vocal minority is what I like to call that.
Loud, yeah. They got the megaphone, so they're gonna be like me and you. You're a casuals fan. I'm pretty much a diehard one. I don't go screaming from the rooftops like The Last Jedi was terrible because I enjoyed The Last Jedi. I don't go from the rooftops. This is true. I think the Rogue One's really overrated. I don't do that, but that's how I feel.
Yeah.
It's just
the only thing I do that about is demanding Shadows of the Empire.
Which I've been I'm on a Star Wars group, and anytime someone suggests like, what character would you bring into this universe? Prince Xizor. Yeah. What character do you wish would be involved in another franchise? Dash Rendar. Yeah. What ship would you like most to pilot? Outrider. What story would you like being Shadows of the Empire? If you could vote on one thing to be added to the Star Wars canon, Black Sun. Like,
it's true, because that's something that they could really do something.
The Black Sun was introduced in Star Wars Clone Wars, but they've never done anything with it.
So it is canon.
Black Sun and the Outrider are canon, but Dash Rendar and Prince Xizor are not.
And fuck, that's what they need to do.
I thought
do a fucking Shadows of the Empire.
That's a thing. I wish they would, because they have this Jon Favreau story that's going to be like his show's going to be taking place between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, which I kind of would have wanted a movie between a Star Wars story in between that. But no, we're getting that as a TV show, but okay. And then we're getting Star Wars Resistance, an animated show taking place, I guess, before The Force Awakens. I guess. I think that's where they're kind of going with it, like the start of the Resistance. But I don't know.
I mean, they could do Shadows of the Empire really fucking well, and it could still take place during the Battle of Hoth and all these things, because Dash Rendar never really comes into direct contact with, I don't think, any of the characters.
No, he comes into contact with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo.
But
here's the thing,
it's over a communication device. Though.
No,
he doesn't actually meet them in person, I thought.
No, he meets a couple people in person. But the thing is that, okay, well then just don't have him meet those people. You don't need them to meet those people.
Or do the whole thing over a communicator. They can have their voices do the work and not actually be there.
You could actually be like, hey, this is Captain Han Solo. Or, hey, this is Luke Skywalker, something on those lines. Mm-hmm. But they're so minor to the plot
that it doesn't matter.
That it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Shadow of the Empire cannot be done. Especially when Shadow of the Empire could be done in a TV show very well. I think
that's what I think they should do with it.
That's what I think too, because you can have Prince Xizor meeting up with Darth Vader. Like you did it with Rogue One. You can bring Darth Vader in for that little fan service thing.
Yeah,
and no one's gonna know the difference whether or not, like, if you actually get James Earl Jones. No one's gonna care that much, because Darth Vader was a cool part in Star Wars Rebels season 2. Like, he was really cool, but they actually did get James Earl Jones for that, so it kind of is a moot point. But either way, no one really cares if it's actually James Earl Jones. They just want to see. If it
sounds similar, they're not going to give a shit.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they're not putting him on hold. I just kind of wish they would get their fingers out of their ass and put it more towards the pulse. Just a little bit. I'm not saying, as I said, listen 100% to the fans, but go to a test group and just say, do you want this? Would this be something you're interested in? Because the difference between Lucasfilm and the fans right now has never been so diverse and so separated.
Yeah.
It is night and day. Like, it wasn't this bad during the prequels. I understand that the internet was not like a massive thing, the social media, but man, the negativity in Star Wars right now and the just juxtaposition between them and Lucasfilm are just way too crazy. Way too crazy, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That's just my conclusion on the matter. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
I want to say that I don't know if that giant gap between the fan base and Lucasfilm is entirely a valid measurement.
No, but
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not a valid measurement
because while it's there and it exists, how much of that fan base is just being a fucking crybaby, and how much of that is Lucasfilm going, well, they don't know what they're talking about.
True, but if you look at Solo, that's a big thing. When Rogue One, a film no one was asking for technically,
did pretty well,
made over $1 billion.
Yeah,
Solo's going to struggle to make even $700 million. I don't even think it'll make that. But it's struggling. Clearly, something is wrong because people are not going to see this movie. Something is up. No one's seeing it. And sure, you can say that people were just kind of spent on their money, but guess what? It just keeps dropping. It's not like people are like, oh no, I have money now, I'm going to go see Solo. People are, and it's not that the reviews are bad on it. Most people who see Star Wars Solo like it. Mm-hmm. They do.
Yeah.
They kind of say like, it's pretty good. I just kind of thought it was all right, but most people are liking it. I think it has like a 70% or something on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. People aren't going to see it. So there's clearly an issue. We'll see when episode 9 comes out. If that has, I don't believe.
Yeah, if that continues the downward trend of attendance, then we have a problem.
Yes, we definitely have a problem, for sure. Okay. Adam, going on to our third topic of the day, which we are going to talk about the Halloween trailer that released a few weeks back. We watched it before the show started. Yeah. I wanted to see, Adam, your take on it, so go ahead and talk. And what did you think about it?
I kind of liked their retconning everything that happened after the first film, so that's neat. That allows them to the freedom to really explore any point that they wanted to explore. And I think it looks pretty fucking badass. Like, it looks like it's going to be really good. Mm-hmm. And I'm not usually one for slasher films. Of course, we know friend of the show, Sam Fish, is a big horror film fan. So I'm sure he's probably excited for it as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it looks like it's probably going to be really fucking good.
I do. So, Adam, I want to show you something because I'm going to show you why I'm excited for Halloween. So just keep kind of talking. I'm going to take a step back for a second. So just keep saying, you can just say whatever. Say, I don't care. I'll be right back. It takes 2 seconds.
I think I kind of like how Jamie Lee Curtis's character is almost seems like a sort of badass, like Western type character that's, wants to hunt down this guy for revenge. That seems to be a pretty interesting aspect of the film for me. And
I'm back. So, this is my complete collection of Halloween.
Yeah.
On Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. So, if this is kind of any indication, and also why I'm such a big fan, I have this version only came with the standard edition of The Curse of Michael Myers, the theatrical cut. And so I bought the Curse of Michael Myers producer's cut, and so I have both versions in here. Because I actually like both of them, although the producer's cut's a little better, but there's some weird shit in there. But that's my point is, Halloween is my favorite horror franchise.
Really?
Yes, it's my favorite horror franchise. Halloween is maybe in my top 10 movies of all time. I love that film, and unfortunately, as much as I actually enjoy everything up till the Rob Zombie Halloweens, those are trash. Those are straight fucking trash, my man. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking on that one, especially for 2, man. What were you thinking? That's insane. I actually do enjoy Halloween 2. I like Halloween 3, even though everyone shits on it, but it's actually a good movie, even though,
it's just not really connected to the other 2.
Yeah, it just has nothing. They tried to turn it into an anthology film.
Well, that was the original. That was John Carpenter's original.
Yeah, they just wanted to make them into...
He just wanted to do different films just called Halloween.
Mm-hmm, and then just release one new scary movie titled Halloween every year, but they just kind of, I think, waited a little too long, and they finished with Halloween 2, and they were like, oh, well, that's going to be the end of Michael Myers, and they just kind of kept going, and they're like,
after 3, they're like, fuck it, let's do it again.
Yeah, because the third one bombed. But I like number 4. I think his mask is stupid. Number 5 is kind of all over the place, but I still enjoy it. Curse of Michael Myers is kind of maybe one of the worst ones, but I like there's 2 separate films. Long story short, I really like Halloween. This trailer looks fucking awesome. It looks so cool.
Is Danny McBride making this?
He's like a co-writer on it. He was a co-writer on
definitely. Okay, so this, I don't know Danny McBride personally, but I know his work, and it doesn't fucking show in the trailer.
It doesn't at all. There is no indication that Danny McBride had anything to do with this this film. And I just remember that he was kind of one of those, his name being attached to it moved it forward. That's all I kept hearing was like Danny McBride's Halloween, stuff like this. Like,
yeah.
I'm really happy that they're continuing the franchise. Whether or not this will be the last one, I highly doubt it, because this movie's probably going to make a shitload of money.
Yeah.
So why would they stop it there?
I'm assuming this is coming out in October.
Yes, it actually is the first one that's been coming out in October in a long time, because for some reason they started releasing them in August. Like, I don't know why. It comes out in October this year. I'm not sure if it's actually on Halloween, but it's coming out. And the thing is I love everything about it. I love the look of the mask, that it's all like fucked up and the latex is all screwed up. It looks like the original mask, which just obviously I think it's kind of been played to death at this point, but we all know that it's a Shatner mask. It's a Star Trek Shatner mask for that. And as you were mentioning before, I heard you mentioning when I was going to get the set that Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis looks badass.
Yeah.
And she's like ready to fucking murder him. She's like, for years I've been hoping he gets out. And I'm like, why? He's like, why would you want that? And he's like, so I can finally kill him.
Yeah.
And get rid of him. I thought it was a pretty funny joke in the trailer when they say, wasn't that like your brother or something? Her brother? And she's like, no, that's just some rumor that someone made up, which that was first addressed in Halloween 2.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no blood relation, at least for what they're hinting at.
Yeah.
There is no current blood relation between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. And I just thought the town felt right.
Yeah.
The town felt like real. Mm-hmm. Like, it felt like a real town to me. And I'm sure what became a weird thing that they ran through with all the franchises was that, like, every once in a while the cops would find someone dressed up as Michael Myers and they would pull off the mask and be like, oh, I'm just joking, I'm just wearing a costume. They ran that joke dry so many times that it got really obnoxious to a point. Mm-hmm. And in this one, I'm hoping maybe they do it once, but I'd almost prefer if they don't. But at this point, it's almost like the movie Scream, where everybody is aware that this guy went around in this white mask.
Yeah.
So, and the mask in the thing was just in a hobby store. So, I mean, it clearly was one that someone could have purchased.
Yeah.
Maybe it became a popular mask, kind of like the Scream mask. So, I mean, I'm really excited. I really hope that this movie is really good, and I hope that it's a good follow-up. And the one thing is that I like is kind of like how Halloween H2O was a movie that wiped everything out after 3, 4, and 5, and 6. H2O was supposed to be the official sequel of Halloween after 1 and 2. And I like H2O. I think it's pretty good. But I think that was a smart idea. But I don't watch that movie thinking, oh, yeah, technically this could be a sequel.
Yeah.
But I never sit there and be like, it takes away from my enjoyment of the other ones. And that's the one thing I like about this Halloween is that I don't think I'll look at this and like, well,
those other ones.
Yeah,
now.
It's not like how they're doing a new Terminator movie that completely ignore everything after 2.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know anything after 2, although I do enjoy Terminator Salvation. I will defend that movie. I will die on that hill to defend Terminator Salvation.
You and Sam both love that movie.
I love Terminator Salvation.
I actually never saw it. I watched it with him at his house, I think about last month.
Really?
Yeah, and it wasn't bad.
It's not bad. I just think people were expecting something different, but I went and saw that like 3 times in theaters. I really like that movie. I don't know why I don't own that. Because that's one that I'd be like, I'm going to die on this hill of defending this movie. Yeah. It's great. I'd like to have a conversation with Sam about it, to be honest. And, but, you know, that's the one thing. I enjoy the franchise for what it is. I enjoy the sequels for how dumb or stupid some parts can be.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like this Halloween movie will just make me forget those other ones. But I do like that I'll be able to watch this and be like, yeah, this is the official sequel. This one will be good, hopefully, and it'll feel like a continuation. I hope they get that feeling of Haddonfield being good.
Yeah.
Like, feeling like Haddonfield again.
Yeah.
So, thumbs up on that one. I'm really happy about that. I was worried about that because I remember the first pictures of Michael Myers, people were shitting on him. Like, well, if he's wearing... I'm like, how does he have the same mask? How did he get that thing? But they explained that very clearly in the trailer. Yeah. So, I'm very happy with it. Okay, Adam, going on to our last topic of the day is I wanted to talk about my thoughts on the company MoviePass. And you're aware of what MoviePass is, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So MoviePass is a paid subscription service in which a person can, for $9.95 a month, purchase a little debit card, and it allows you to see one movie every 24 hours for a month. And and they cannot be in anything but a 2D screening. So no 3D, no IMAX, no Dolby like digital or what is that? XD, none of that. Just a normal ticket. And it's a good idea. But the one thing I've had an issue with is that every once in a while, some weird, shady detail comes out about MoviePass that I'm like, well, it doesn't really affect me. It's kind of shitty, but I'm going to ignore it and keep paying for the service because I like the service that's provided. And the service that was provided, like some of the weird shit they would say is that, well, not every theater can be used. Oh, we're taking away these theaters. We're giving you these options as a theater to go to. Then they would do stuff like that whenever the film Red Sparrow came out. You remember that Jennifer Lawrence CIA or Russian spy movie?
Yeah.
That came out the same weekend as the movie. Oh shit! What's the Charles Bronson movie that he's famous for? That Bruce Willis just did a remake of it.
Death Wish?
Death Wish, yes.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis's Death Wish came out. And there were a lot of promotions. I remember getting emails like, hey, go see Death Wish this weekend. Go see Death Wish this weekend from MoviePass. And apparently some reports came out that MoviePass wasn't allowing you to go see Red Sparrow. Saying that, oh, unfortunately, that movie is not available through MoviePass right now. But like bunch of promotions for Death Wish.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're screwing your customers over on that. That's bullshit. Because you're clearly getting paid by Death Wish or and the studio to fund this. So I was like, wow, that's really shitty. But all right, well, it doesn't affect me. I didn't really want to see either of those movies.
Yeah.
But I would have rather seen Red Sparrow.
Yeah. If
you'd given me the option. If I was going, hey, go see a movie this weekend. Do you want to see Red Sparrow or Death Wish? I'm going with Red Sparrow. But then they came out with another thing that says, well, now you can't see a movie multiple times. You can only see that movie once. And that's it. So once I've seen the movie, you can't use MoviePass ever again on that card. I guess it in the same month.
For that film.
Yeah, for that film. I'm thinking I haven't never tested it out, but I believe it's for that month.
Yeah.
I think for the next...
if it's in theaters for longer than that month... then
you can go and see it again. I believe. I I'm not testing you on that or try that out, but there's a good chance I feel like that's true. So then there was that where I was like, well, that's shitty. I planned on maybe going to see Avengers Infinity. That's why I didn't see Infinity War more than...
second time?
Yeah, was because I was like, oh, well, I used my movie pass. Now I can't go see it again. So that was like, that's kind of shitty. Now it's starting to fuck me over. Well, now Movie Pass, starting in July, is doing something where they're adding a surcharge for what they define as quote-unquote popular films. That'll be an additional $2 when you pay. And now it's kind of really pissing me off. Because now you're starting to really fuck with me. And yes, you're paying only $9.95 a month. But then why don't you just up the charge? Like, why don't you just make the charge like 15 or $20 a month? It's still a good deal. 30 movies for $9 in 1 month. I understand that. But if you got this surcharge thing and you're having this big of an issue, because clearly this is not a sustainable business model. Because
no, definitely not. Because
you can see almost $300 worth of movies in 1 month if you use it like that. And that's every time they have to pay.
Well,
now,
there has to also be 30 movies in that month.
There has to be 30 movies, but also, like, if you're paying $9.95 and you go to a screening that's $12, that Movie Pass pays for that ticket, regardless.
Yeah, already.
Yeah. And so if you see two movies a month with Movie Pass, they're losing $10. Let's just say it's $10. But they're losing $10 per subscription. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we got so much back catalog that eventually there was like rumors that they were trying to like strong arm movie theaters into getting a cut of their concession money so that or else they were like, well, we're going to take you our Movie Pass, your theater, off of our list of current things. So, like, do you see where I'm saying, like, there's a lot of shady shit that goes on. Mm-hmm. But this surcharge thing is just annoying. Like, the reason why I'm paying you the $9.95 a month is for convenience, that I don't have to worry about anything else. And if you've got an issue with this, then why don't you just fucking raise the price? $9.95 is a good deal. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But you know what else wouldn't be a bad deal? $20 for 30 movies in a month. Like, it wouldn't be that bad, but you're fucking me over with this $2 charge thing, because a lot of the times I go to the theaters, I don't normally like have extra cash. I normally just go there and I just swipe the card and I go in there. I don't usually buy concessions. But I get it. Maybe I sound like a baby because it's $2. Like, what's $2? Because now I gotta swipe the card, then I gotta swipe another card for the $2, and it's just kind of stupid. Like, just raise your fucking price to fix this issue if you're having this issue that you gotta do surcharges with. I don't know. Am I acting a little too rational? Like, am I acting a little too babyish over this, Adam?
No, I think not only are you making perfect sense, but I feel like the average consumer is going to see that $10 increase in the subscription fee and be a bigger baby about it.
You think that they're going to be a bigger baby about the $10 rather than paying $2 per?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You got to think.
I used to use my movie card like all the time. But every single time...
You're the reason why this is happening. No.
Maybe.
You got to think that most people are not going to see one movie per day.
I know that.
And most people are not going to see the same movie more than once. So those types of things aren't that bad. But when you start saying, well, a lot of people are seeing this movie and we see an opportunity to nickel and dime you for an extra $2.
Yeah, I feel nickel and dime.
That's what it is. It's not the fact that, yeah, we're not making enough money for this to be a sustainable business model. We need to raise the price of our subscription, which is completely reasonable whether or not anybody wants to be a fucking baby about it or not.
Yes.
That's just the reality. Whereas with this, that's exactly what they're doing. They're saying, well, nobody's going to see Red Sparrow, so there's no surcharge for this one. Oh, Avengers Infinity War? Lots of people want to see this one. We're going to tack on an extra $2.
Mm-hmm. And that's I do not appreciate.
That's what it is. They're not offloading the cost burden onto their entire customer base. They're offloading it onto a specific type of person. They're targeting a specific type of customer.
Yeah, and I don't like that. because I remember AMC, okay, popular movie chain out there, started their own subscription service. For $19.95 a month, you get to see 3 movies a week. And that includes all their IMAX or 3Ds, but you get 3 movies, plus I think you get a discount on the concessions, but you get 3 movies in a week. So altogether, you're getting 12 movies.
A month. For $20,
For
plus
$20.
a discount on concessions, and it doesn't restrict you to the type of screening.
Yes.
So already that seems like a better deal to me.
That feels like a better deal to me. It just I'm kind of disappointed because I don't have any AMCs around me. Or else I would do that.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And
you'd have to go to the waterfront.
Yeah, that's the only one, but I wouldn't go to the waterfront every single week. Like, there's a like Cinemark, but Cinemark's so busy, so the one I go to is so low budget. Phoenix, and that's so low budget that they never introduce that. That's why I have Movie Pass, and I'll talk about the other one in a second. But
because I think Cinemark does have one, some kind of movie.
They have one, but it's not very good. It's one movie. It's like 1 or 2 movies a month. Like you get for free. For like $8, you get 1 movie a month, or something on those lines. Which I'm like, that's not I don't really like that idea. But you also got like a $25, like you got like a 25% off on concessions, stuff like that. So maybe there was some point of it. But I liked Movie Pass because it worked for almost all the theaters around me. I had one card I had to use, and that was it. And now it's just kind of bite me ass to the point where I'm almost thinking about just canceling it because I don't feel like getting charged an extra $2 to go see a movie.
Yeah.
Now, that's my issue with that. Now, I do love if Movie Pass would offer this move 3 movies a week for $19.95 and include all the IMAX and the 3D and all that, Movie Pass, that'd be my go-to card.
Yep.
But this whole thing kind of pisses me off, and it's really irking me. So honestly, do you know what I recommend, if anything? I recommend Cinemia is the card I use the most now. Because Cinemia allows you to go to any movie theater. I don't think there's one movie theater around that doesn't accept it, but it's one movie theater. And how I work it is it's a kind of like a couple thing.
Yeah.
So I pay $20 a month for 2 tickets.
Yeah.
So I get 2 pairs of 2 tickets for 2 movies a month for $20. You can up that to $30 for 3 if you want. But that takes you anywhere. You can go to a 3D, you can go to an IMAX, you can pre-reserve your tickets with it. You can do all that stuff. And I just think that that's the best deal right now, just because I understand that $19.95 for 3 movies a week through AMC is a good deal. If a company came out with that plan,
or if you have a lot of AMC theaters around you, that's an excellent deal for you.
That's an excellent deal, and I would recommend you should 100% do that. But if you don't, I think the one you should go with is the Cinemia, because it's almost like buy one movie, get one free.
Yeah.
Or pretty much. Buy one ticket for you and one other person. So when I use my Cinemia card, if I'm taking somebody with me, I just punch it in, I swipe it, I get 2 tickets for free, and that's it. And that's it. And then I just go and get another one, and I can go see one the next day if I wanted to, or I can see one next week. I don't have to worry about it. But I wish there was a combination. If someone would take this $19.95 business plan and just work it with the 3 a week and then do that, I'd be all about that.
Nobody's seen one film per fucking day.
No, not most. The average person does not see 1 movie a week, let alone 3. The point of these things is that you get this deal and you, like, for example, the Cinemia.
You're paying for the option to be there, essentially.
Yeah, Cinemia is asking you, like, for $20, you can go see 2 movies a month with somebody. But you can the plans get cheaper if you want to do it by yourself. Mm-hmm. I understand. If you're going to see movies by yourself, then Movie Pass is probably the better option for you because you get unlimited. But the thing with Cinemia, I like it because if I take somebody, I don't have to worry about paying for their ticket or anything like that. They're covered. But I wish, like, they're taking the idea that, look, you're paying $20 and you're probably, like, they're thinking that the average person probably only is going to watch one movie a month. Or if they use two, that's it. They don't really lose too much. Although it's a lot more sustainable of a model than MoviePass, because if I use the 2 tickets for the $20, yes, they've lost money, technically.
Yeah.
MoviePass is 30 days. You only need to see one in 30 days. If you see 2, then they've lost money. Yeah. So I have multiple options to work. It's just MoviePass is not a sustainable business model, and it's business model, and it's clearly seeing the chink in the chain. Like, it's clearly something's messed up there.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the crack in the armor, I guess is the better phrase. Because I'm tired of MoviePass hitting me with all this shit. So if anybody who listens is a MoviePass subscriber, I mean, if this doesn't bother you and I'm just kind of being a baby about it, that's fine. I get it, but I don't know. It just really
I mean, I'm not a MoviePass subscriber, and I feel like you're being completely reasonable, so.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much it for today's show, Adam. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we kind of sign off?
No, I mean, not really. Just really excited for, future games that are coming out, that's all.
What I mean, you probably mentioned it on the E3 show, but if anyone didn't listen, what were some of your games that you were like all about?
I mean, obviously my game of the show was Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk looks great.
I'm excited for Death Stranding, even though I feel like I know even less about it after that third trailer.
Yeah.
Which we talked about was just a bad fucking trailer. Shadows Die Twice looks fucking amazing. A lot of people are like, it's the new Souls game. No, it looks more like Otogi to me, which is also made by the same production team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a Spider-Man, obviously.
Spider-Man looks great. Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us looks fucking great. You need to play the first one, though. Yeah, I do. Yeah, just a lot of good stuff. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Ooh.
Metal Wolf Chaos XD's coming out.
What was that Daemon Ex Machina for the Switch?
That one looks fucking amazing.
If you got that.
Yeah, it's just so much good stuff, and a lot of it's will be out pretty soon, I think.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have a list in my head of what's coming out most like the closest to now, but yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming. I'm just looking forward to a lot of games.
I've been trying to get all my binging up, so I'm finally officially. I just got one new episode of Westworld, and then I'm completely binge free on shows. So I'm probably gonna maybe start. Well, if you shut the hell up, Adam, I could actually finish my sentence. But I was going to say that perhaps maybe I might start more of One Piece this weekend.
Oh my God, so good.
So I had to work today, or else I probably would have done it this week. So if I don't get to One Piece by this weekend, by next weekend, I'm sure I will be.
All right. Well, you might as well wait until I get back, because next week I'm not going to be here. So.
Yeah, you're not going to be here, so it's either going to be me doing the show by myself. There's three options. They're either the show doesn't happen, which I'd prefer not to do that option. I do the show by myself. God help us. Or I do it with Danko if he's available, or I just have to find another guest host.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd have to see how that works, and then you'll find out next week whether or not Adam will be here or not. Or, well, you won't be here, but you'll find out next week.
Who's going to take my place?
Who's going to take your place, or if anything even happens. So, Adam, why don't you let people know where to find us?
What the fuck was that? All right. www.facebook.com/GTAS podcast or www.twitter.com/GTAS podcast, as well as the links to the 3 audio-only sources, which are Google Play, iTunes, and Stitcher, down below in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to the audio-only, you already know where to get the audio-only. Yeah, that's about it.
You're getting better at that.
Yeah.
You get better at that every time you do your whole little spiel.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling energized today, so.
Yeah, that's why I was. And you go, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, but yours was weird.
Yeah, I know, because I can go really high pitch with my voice if I really had to. Even though my voice is kind of nasally, it really can get nasally if you really want that. But all right, everybody, thank you again for listening to today's show. We always appreciate it. Leave us a comment on the video below, or leave us a comment on our Facebook or our Twitter page, though, what Adam just mentioned. I think you
can comment on our iTunes page, too, right?
I think you can leave a review, so if you want to leave a nice little review for us, hey.
Or tell us we fucking suck. Who
Don't
cares?
tell us we fucking suck on the iTunes ones, because that really fucks with our ratings.
Just give us 5 stars and then say that we fucking suck.
Yeah, do that. You can definitely do that if you want.
Yeah.
But
I mean, obviously, constructive criticism is more appreciated.
I like constructive criticism, so definitely let us know if you want to listen to.
Yeah, if you want to say that we fucking suck, we're not going to hate you for it.
No.
Just give us 5 stars and then tell us we suck.
Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Bob.
And I'm the co-host, Adam.
And until next time, don't get captured, and farewell.